Welcome into yet another edition of 302 Sports Weekly. I'm Patrick Arianis. Alongside me today, Nick Alessandrini back on the show. Man, how you feeling, Nick?
Feeling great, Pat. Great to be back on.
Yep, only 2 shows remain after tonight, so safe to say we're rounding third here at 302 Sports Weekly. Hold on, Nick. Coming in for a landing tonight, we take a look at all playoff outcomes and some updates throughout the state of Delaware within your playoffs and various spring sports throughout the state. And we're joined by 2 special guests, Kyle Hinton of the University of Delaware Baseball, and of course first up will be Coach Hurd of D1 Basketball Development. We'll get to that in just a moment, but once again we want to thank Gary and Nick here at Hooters for allowing us to have this show here weekly at the 136 Astro Shopping Center here in Newark. Come out, support, get yourself some delicious wings, as Benny likes to always say.
You got to throw that in there now.
Have to throw that in there. Make sure you come on down.
And like you said, Pat, we're rounding third here at 302 Sports. Spring season picking up and coming down at the same time. So don't forget to send us your stats, information, everything else you want to see on the show. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter. And I promise you, Pat, we only have one Twitter account here at 302 Sports. You don't have to worry about none of those burner accounts here. We got one.
No burner accounts.
But make sure to check us out on Facebook, 302sports.com. And or you can come right here to 136 Astro Shopping Center, Hooters of Newark, and check it out live.
That's it. So we're moving right along, getting into special guest number 1 of the evening, Coach Hurd of the D1 Basketball Development and an assistant men's basketball coach at Camden County College. Welcome along, Coach.
Thank you, fellas, for having me. It's definitely a pleasure.
Not a problem. So D1 Basketball Development, can you give us a little bit more information on exactly what it is and what you're trying to accomplish with the local kids here in Delaware?
Well, I just want to inspire the youth to strive to be their best. Everyone has, well, most youth say that they have aspirations of playing at the Division I level or even the pro level. And I want to shorten that learning curve by providing the information needed. If that's a middle school kid getting prepared for high school, if that's a high school kid getting prepared for college, by giving information such as information on the NCAA clearinghouse, maintaining a GPA and why it's important what the SAT and ACT actually is, not to be afraid of it, how you can address it by going forward with SAT and ACT prep. And I want all of that to be provided to our youth because our youth are struggling to get to the next level. So as a junior college coach, I noticed that recruiting was easy in this area, and it was because kids weren't prepared to go to any 4-year or scholarship schools. So I just want to shorten that learning curve and, just help Delaware basketball and the youth and as many people as I can.
And Coach, we see you're doing some open workouts at the Clayton Community Center, and we also know you have some planned workouts as well. What can you tell us about your workouts without giving away too much?
Our workouts can be intense. They're group sessions. I don't recommend one-on-one. Like I said, we're at Clayton Community Center every Wednesday and Thursday from 6 to 8. I do all ages. I believe that youth can inspire youth. If you see someone that may be a little better than you or a little older than you working hard, then you'll follow suit. I think that kids hold each other accountable, more than adults give them credit for. And so I try to just instill in them certain principles and discipline, being on time, what it means to be professional, and all these things, because kids really want to know what's going on at that level,
And as I say, competition breeds excellence. That's something that I've noticed as well, as sure as everyone else has throughout things. So, where can we tell people to contact you for practices and workout plans and how to get in touch as far as just the workout aspect of D1 Basketball Development?
If you would like to work out with me in D1 Basketball Development, please contact me. You can DM me on Instagram at Coach_Hurd. You also can contact me at 678-836-6027, and I'll be sure to get back to you once again every Wednesday and Thursday night, except for when I'm with you guys here at 302. So I'll be there tomorrow, Thursday night from 6 to 8, play my community center. They've been a great partner to us, and we have some things in store.
That's it. Make sure you get out there and get some development skills here with Coach Hurd.
Yeah, absolutely. And now let's kind of talk about the event you got coming up. It's going to be held at Concord High School this Saturday, June 2nd. $5 to get in. Door opens at 2, and it's the first annual Stop the Violence basketball game You just want to talk a little bit about it?
Yes, sir. This was a collective that it actually happened last year. I have to give credit to Agent English and to Vash Turner. They threw a Stop the Violence game, and I was very impressed. And Agent went away for college because he's still a collegiate athlete, and he did well. But while he was away, he challenged me since I was so impressed to keep things going. So this is the first annual because it's a collective. What I did was I teamed up with another basketball development program, Check Rock, and also Cool Shoes. They've done a lot of fundraising around the community, and Omega Sci-Fi. So it's a collective. So it's the first year that we had a collective. I'm appreciative of all the backing that we've gotten and all the support we've gotten from you guys and others around the community. And it's definitely something that I'm proud to say that I'm a part of. I'm proud to say that I've started. And it sends a message. It's more than just a game. We need to stop the violence. Some proceeds will go to AI DuPont, to the trauma center, because our kids are being affected. And we have giveaways. We're doing Jay-Z and Beyonce tickets on the Run Tour tickets. We're going to have Dancing Dolls tickets for the girls. My daughter's crazy about them, so I figured I would do that. And we're also giving away 5 scholarships to our basketball camp.
That's great. Stop the Violence game. $5 to get in, of course. Make sure you stop over, watch that game.
From 2 to 5. Sorry.
2 to 5. Make sure you stop out there. Some of the talent that's in this game is really impressive. Some of Delaware's finest of the past and the present, because they're still playing with a lot of these guys. Nick Richards of Wilmington University in Hodson, Jordan Allen of Rider University, Dover, among other guys. Can you talk a little bit about some of the players that are going to be in this game and how they can be maybe beacons to these younger guys as reaching that next level?
Well, great question. I think that these guys are fully committed. I had a certain criteria. You must, be from Delaware or around this tri-state area, but I prefer Delaware. You have these guys, if they're at the pro level, all have degrees, and the guys that are playing at the collegiate level have 3.0 GPAs or higher. So there's something positive to point out. They see what's going on in their community. They want to stop it. They want to make change, and they want to show the youth that there are other options. They chose basketball, but for someone else, it may be art and design, it may be technology. Find something productive that you want to be into other than doing something counterproductive. There's too many kids that I lose to the streets. That's another problem we've had at Camden County College. I've had kids miss practices and games because they lost a family member due to gun violence. I've had kids lose parents due to gun violence. And these are things that are happening in our inner city, and awareness needs to be brought to it. So I'm just trying to do my part, give back to the community and inspire the youth to want to do better. And I think that these kids, all these players have followed suit.
That's fantastic.
So there is a criteria to play in the game.
It's great.
Yeah, and we thank you for that again. We appreciate everything you're doing here at 302 Sports. And we talked a little bit about the event and Stop the Violence basketball game. Is there anything else you want to talk about or you want to highlight to let everybody out there know?
Yes, I'm hosting 3 basketball camps, which will also be at Claymont Community Center. The first one being June 18th through the 22nd. You can drop your kids off as early as 8 o'clock, and we'll keep them to 4, so we do provide before and after care. A lot of these players that are playing in this game actually will be coaches, so you'll get one-on-one work with players that actually have been through it and tried and tested. But also in the before care, when kids come, they'll see those players training with me when they walk in. So that first hour, you'll walk into that, and then when they leave, and the aftercare, if you stay after for that hour, the guys will play. So you get to see the whole process and see what guys are going through, because some guys are trying to get ready for the next year of college, and some guys are trying to get ready for their first year of going pro. So it's all different levels, but it's a challenge and the mindset. And I think that kids should be exposed to what's going on and the process,
Coach Hurd, what is the age range for this camp, and maybe what specifically are you going to target as far as a camp is concerned? Is it going to be skills and whatnot?
My age group is 5 to 18.
Okay.
We're going to focus on all skill sets, every aspect of the game. So defense, offense, rebounding, passing, shooting, fundamentals, free throws, dribbling. Every aspect of the game will be covered. We'll even have we have great volunteers. I have strength and conditioning guys coming from University of Temple. I have great speakers who will be coming in. We're going to show film, show how to break down film. We're going to have guys come in and talk about money management, all things that you have to have in order to be successful as an athlete, if that's the profession you choose. But also there are guys that love sports like you two that I would love to have come and speak to our kids as well, because there are many different aspects. Kids need to know how to do what I'm doing right now, how to have speech. We're going to talk about speech. There are a lot of guys who crumble under pressure when they're getting interviewed. So, hopefully I can have you guys out there, no pressure, to talk to them and let them know that there are other avenues. If you can't be a player, you can also be a broadcaster.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're not talented. Take your talents elsewhere.
When you peak early.
That's it. You peak early. That's it. And once again, thank you, Coach Herb, for coming on. D1 basketball development, whether it's a camp, training, or getting to the Stop the Violence basketball game, contact 678-836-6027 to Coach Herb, or D1 basketball devdev@gmail.com to get in touch with this man right here. Thank you for coming on, Coach.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll come right back after the break here on 302 Sports Weekly.
All right.
Good stuff.
Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique Image, you envision, we create. Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique Image, you envision, we create. Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus and began his career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 home buyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time home buyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today.
Once again, special thanks to Coach Hurd of D1 Basketball Development. Really nice guest out there. Once again, get out there, check out that Stop the Violence basketball game. Should be a good thing. So moving right along here, playoff time in the state of Delaware, and we've already got 2 champions crowned here, guys. I'm joined here alongside Mike Lang and Jason Winchell joining us on set. Softball crowns Smyrna. The Smyrna High School Eagles winning the DIAA softball tournament. They beat Appo 16-7. Really came down a stretch strong, and those Twitter people, once again, they were right. Yeah. They told us. They told us right from the jump. They said Smyrna got to get some props. They turned out a champion. How about that?
They said Smyrna and Appo, and they're both were playing in the championship game.
We start listening to them.
We got to listen to the people out here. You know?
Not us.
Girls lacrosse also has their champion, Cape Henlopen, winning their 10th. That's correct. A decade's worth of consecutive girls lacrosse championships. They defeat St. Mark's by a 10 spot, 15-5. Is there anything more impressive than that dominance in the state that you remember, you guys? Jason and Mike, you've been around longer, a little longer.
The only thing I can remember is there's been a Salesianum cross country which won like 24 straight years or something like that. But this is pretty impressive. Sally's lacrosse, even they've been broken up a couple of times here and there.
That's incredible. It's impressive. So they're the first 2 state champions. Congrats, Cape Henlopen and Smyrna, on your championships. And now we'll head into some girls soccer. We're right now in the semifinals. Before we get there, let's recap some of these quarterfinal scores, Nick.
Yeah, first Tower Hill, the number 1 seed, they take down Ursuline 6-0.
Nil.
6-0, excuse me. Rookie. And then number 4, Sanford, takes down Friends 4-0.
There we go.
DMA, the 2 seed, takes down Wilmington Christian 4-0. And then here we go. This is the one we were talking about before we went on air. Number 6, Indian River, beats number 3, Caravel in OT 2-1.
And what, any surprises within those scores, guys, that you saw? I mean, other than the obvious one, Indian River, Caravel, Shocker. Is there anything that really jumped out? Maybe was it more lopsided than you would have thought, or did this go the way that it should have?
I think maybe Sanford Friends would have been a little closer, but Sanford their defense that night was just incredible, and they did enough damage to beat Friends 4-0, but they played a couple close regular season games, but Sanford just pulled away in that one. That was probably the surprise score. I thought it'd be a little closer.
Semi-final games, of course, number 4 Sanford versus number 1 Tower Hill. That's at 8 o'clock down at Dover. The game that's going on right now is number 6 Indian River and number 2 DMA. Mike, do you have an update with that?
Yeah, I do. That game's all but over. It's DMA 4, Indian River 0, and I don't know what the time is, but they're probably in about the 70th minute or so.
Yeah,
75th minute. They're closing in on the end. So it's going to be DMA in the final.
How about that? The Seahawks going to reach themselves a final. So, of course, the state championship game will be Friday, June 1st or Saturday, June 2nd, depending upon graduation dates, correct, Jay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So-
it depends on what 4 teams get in their soccer, because Division 1 and Division 2 play at the same site.
Yep.
So it depends on what 4 teams get there and what their schedule looks like. It could be Friday, it could be Saturday.
Keep a lock on the social media of 302 Sports. You'll see that, of course, live on NFHS Network, powered by 302 Sports, this upcoming weekend. So, here we go. Let's talk a little bit about this. Mike, going to you first. Indian River took out the only D2 champion. That was an OT. Of course, we just talked briefly about it earlier. What was successful in that win?
Well, not having seen the game, Sydney Keld from Caravel is an outstanding keeper. So to beat her twice in any game, that to me is a success. So that's unfortunately looks like IR's luck ran out tonight. against DMA. DMA's Emmerich in goal, and they had Bonapane scored tonight. I know that Ruggieri scored for DMA. So good for IR to get this far. Beating Caravel is a very impressive win to the defending state champs. So we're gonna have a new winner this year, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, now we're going to look to our second game of the night this year. Sanford, they get their third chance at Tower Hill after losing to them, Jay, 5-1 on April 18th, and then 3-0 on April 24th. What do they have to do to get by them this time?
Well, like I said, I was really impressed with their defense the other night, and that's what you have to do against Tower Hill. We saw they put up a 6th spot against Ursuline in the quarterfinals, so it's not going to be easy, but more than one goal to beat Tower Hill. And then defensively, they have to keep Tower Hill in that two range and hope that that's enough. It will not be easy. Tower Hill is undefeated, and they've been impressive all year.
It'll be an interesting matchup there in the Division II Girls State Championship. Let's move right along here, Division I, and let's break down these quarterfinal results here. Number 1, Padua defeating Cape 5-0. Number 4, Middletown defeating Apo. Number 5, Apo 1-0. Number 2, CR 4. Number 7, William Penn 1. And number 3, Wilmington Charter moving along, beating number 6, Sussex Tech. Setting up the semifinal matchups that we have here, Nick.
Yeah, we got some great semifinals again. Those are taking place today. Padua versus Middletown. That's at 8, so that game's starting a little bit later on. And then a game going on right now is Caesar Rodney versus Wilmington Charter. Do we have an update on that, Mike?
Yes. Last update I got was the 65th minute as a tie. Caesar Rodney 2, Charter 2. Charter with 2 leads. Wilmington Charter, that is. 2 leads tonight for the Force. CR's come back to tie both times, and that is the last update I had. That was about almost 15 minutes ago. They are probably heading to extra time, extra periods, 10-minute overtime, but it's 2-2.
A great semifinal matchup going on right now. And then the finals for the soccer will be Friday, June 1st or Saturday, June 2nd. And games will be on the NFHS network, powered by 302 Sports. When those are determined, we'll let you know.
All right, Jay, we'll go to you first for this one. Padua Middletown rematch last year's championship game around early this year. Does Padua use that as motivation? And I mean, obviously they do, but how do they use it as motivation? And what do the Cavs have to do to slow down Padua this year, who's looked like the front runner for the most part?
Yeah, and it's not going to be easy. And Padua, last year, what happened was Middletown got that early goal, and Padua just, even though they had the pressure, they were not able to solve the backup keeper for Middletown and fell. So it's definitely motivation for them this year. Those seniors, not that there's many seniors on the team, but they want to go out on top and win against Middletown. Will do that. I think this is going to go one of two ways. I think Padua's offense is going to be too much for Middletown, and they're going to put a hurting on them, or Middletown's goalie, Taylor Wolf, is going to have an outstanding game, and if it's close, Middletown can sneak out that win because they can score a goal against Padua. They didn't last year in the championship game.
And Mike, Wilmington Charter lost 3-0 to Caesar Rodney on April 24th. What do they have to do to stop the Riders from scoring this time, and what do they have to do offensively to pull out the win?
Well, they've given up 2 goals. Obviously, the game's going on right now. So they found a way to score. The key with CR is Perlman. She did score the second goal tonight. They're tying goal. CR is a big possession control team. It sounds like Charter was able to get that ball away from them a little bit. Charter's a good team. They are in a tough conference, even though they're the only Division I team. That Diamond State Conference, they're playing Archmere, DMA, Newark Charter. I know I'm missing somebody here. That's some good competition in that conference. It sounds like Charter's able to hang on a little bit to more possession tonight, and they had 2 leads. So obviously their defense has yielded a little bit, but it sounds like a good one we're missing.
That's it. So soccer will be coming and rounding out their season here this weekend, either Friday or Saturday, depending upon the participants in the championship games. You can catch that, of course, on the NFHS network, powered by 302 Sports. So, take a quick break. When we come back, Go check in and see what's going on down there in Caravel at the lacrosse matchups. See what Nick Hall and those guys are checking out right after this break.
The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroup.re.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley. Cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations from Lois, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
Welcome to Hooters. Have a seat wherever you like.
Hooters of Newark is located at 136 Astro Shopping Center, Newark, Delaware. Come in day or night to watch your favorite teams and sports on our many TVs. It's a great, fun-filled environment that is kid-friendly. Our craveable food menu has all the appetizers, burgers, salads, tacos, seafood, you name it, as well as our world-famous Hooters wings, which are the official wings of 302sports.com.
Welcome to Hooters. Have a seat wherever you like.
Hooters of Newark is located.
I'm talking little lax, brah. We're going to check in on the Delaware Lacrosse State tournament right about now here. Once again, Pat Grani's alongside Nick, Alice Adrini, Mike Lang, and Jason Winchell reviewing some quarterfinal results here. Salesianum continuing their dominance, 17-4 over St. Andrews. Henlopen looking great against Archmere in that quarterfinal matchup, 21-10 in an impressive victory. And then number 2 CR in the bottom half of the bracket defeating Apo 14-7. And which was the only really competitive quarterfinal game between Friends and DMA. Friends just barely getting by the number 3 DMA Seahawks 10-9 in overtime, setting up our semifinal matchups that we have here, Nick.
Yeah, Pat, more semifinal matchups scheduled right now for tonight, 6 and 8 o'clock, just like we talked about for soccer. The 6 o'clock game, Sally's at Cape Henlopen. That's number 1 versus number 4. Mike, we got anything on it?
Well, as we found out, end of the third quarter, it was Salesianum 8 and Cape 4.
Yeah.
That was a 4-3 Salesianum lead at the half, so they outscored them 4-1 in the third quarter.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a little bit to talk about that game. And our second matchup of the night, that one is at Caravel also. It's at 8 p.m., and that's number 2 Cesar Rodney taking on number 6 Friends.
That's it. And it'll be live on the NFHS network, of course, powered by 302 Sports. Now, Mike, the Sally's Cape game, right? Earlier in the year, you saw them down in Dover, and it was not very close. You said it. 4-3 at halftime. Keeping with the South was Cape Henlopen, and the South looking to be pulling away a little bit in the third quarter. Is it surprising in how close this game was, or did you expect a better effort from Cape?
Well, I expected more from Cape than what they gave in the first time around. I probably would expect it and South to be a little further ahead. Jason and I were talking about the Salesianum got a lot of open space in that first game and ran all over the place, and Cape just can't keep up with the Salesianum speed. So I imagine it got a. And we watched a little bit of the game tonight. I imagine it was a lot more physical on Cape's part. That you just can't let Sal's operate in space, or they'll kill you. And so it sounds like the Vikings made some adjustments. May not be enough, but if you're within 3 or 4 goals of Salesianum, that's a pretty good show.
Yeah.
And now, Jay, we'll send this one to you. We just talked about Friends. They're coming off a huge overtime win versus DMA, and now they're going to try to take that momentum, and now they get the high-scoring Cesar Rodney team that we've been talking about all year long. What do they have to do to slow down the CR Riders' offense?
They're going to need to control possession, because that Cesar Rodney offense is red hot in the playoffs, and they've been red hot all season. So if you're Friends, you want to control possession, win face-offs, and get all the loose ground balls. You cannot be out-hustled by Cesar Rodney. When you're coming in and trying to pull off the upset, you have to win all the hustle plays, you have to win all the loose balls. They can do that. The thing that I worry about Friends all year is they've given up a lot of goals in games. Sanford scored 21 against them. St. Andrews scored 18 against them. So they gave up a lot, and Cape scored 20 plus on them. So they have to find a way to keep Cesar Rodney in the early teens if they want a chance in this one.
So right now we have another update. Not much time remaining in this one here. Mike, what do you got as a score update?
We got 4:51 to go, and it is 9-6 Salesianum. Thank you to our broadcast down there, Nick Hall.
9-6.
And Pat, if Sally's holds on, the final will definitely be Saturday because Sally's graduates Friday night.
And that's a big thing. That is, because much like the soccer championships, it's all fluctuating based upon these graduation days. So that's big. Let's real fast before we go to break. 9-6. See Cape trying to chip away. Is there any way you could see them maybe tying this up? I mean, it's a low-scoring game. I'm a little surprised by the score. You see anything happening?
I said yesterday I thought if Cape played more physical tonight, it'd be a close game. And it looks like they're doing that. They're keeping Sally's. They're controlling the ball. They're winning the face-offs. 3 goals is not a big deficit in lacrosse. So Sally's doesn't give up many goals, but Cape can do it. They got to win those face-offs after they get the goal. And they're going to have to convert on all their shots.
So that's going to do it here. Of course, once again, check out this weekend. The state championships coming up for a boys lacrosse seat. If anyone can take down the Sals, man, we'll keep you updated via social media, see if they can pull it off. We're going to go to break right now, but when we come back, we have our second special guest of the evening, UD baseball and Salesianum grad Kyle Hinton will join the set after this break.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust. Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust. Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
As a military wife, I love helping our airmen and their families with financial tools to help provide financial stability.
I promise to make a positive difference in your financial life, from helping you to lower your payments to discovering ways to help you save for your children's future.
From the needs of college students and first-time auto buyers, I promise to identify and take ownership of your needs.
Local people, local decisions, Dover Federal Credit Union.
No matter where you are in life, at every stage, we are here for you, for all of life's big moments, and everything in between. After all, that's what families are for. We promise to make a positive difference in your financial life. and go beyond the norm. Be a part of the Dover Federal family.
Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union.
No matter where.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to 302 Sports Weekly. Nick Alessandrini, Pat Granius. Now we are joined yet again by our special guest, Kyle Hinton, UD Baseball Salesianum grad. Kyle, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Doing well, man. Thanks for coming on. Two sport athletes, Salesianum as well, football and baseball. Take us back to high school. What was your fondest memory of playing sports at Salesianum?
Playing sports back at Salesianum, I would say the thing that I remember the most, obviously, would be winning the state championship in football. Meeting my friends and then staying local and going to college. Getting to know those guys and then going from high school to college and being friends with the guys that I also played with in high school. That was cool. But yeah, I would definitely probably say winning the state championship in football.
All right, so let's fast forward now. Let's go back to the last game you pitched, first round of the CAA playoffs. And you're going up against UNCW, who ended up winning and becoming the conference champions. In that game, you went 8 innings, only surrendered 6 hits, 2 earned, 2 walks. I believe you had 10 strikeouts in that game as well. You did your part. Can you talk a little bit about the outing and what was working for you?
Just going into the outing, you kind of have the same mindset as every week, especially at the beginning of the conference tournament. Try not to get too amped up or anything like that. So I kind of just treated it like it was every other game. Just trying to do my part and give my team the best chance to win at the end. Ended up coming up short, but obviously it was a good team. They ended up winning the whole thing, and they're playing for a regional. So just doing my part and giving my defense a chance behind me to keep us in the game. And just unfortunately, we came a little short.
And our owner over there, Nick Holliday, sitting right there. He says he's known you probably since the age of 7, and he says never seen you without a bat, a glove, a ball, just something like that. Has it always been a dream of yours to make it big, to go pro?
Yeah, I mean, ever since I can remember, it's always been my goal to play professional baseball. Like Nick said, yeah, I spent a lot of time at the softball field watching my dad play, and I didn't mind it because I got to play baseball all day long and watch and play at the same time. So yeah, I would say definitely ever since I can remember, playing professional baseball has always been the goal. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, this is definitely the case. Nick's right about that.
Now, I believe it was last season, if I'm not mistaken, you guys made that run to the NCAA tournament. You, I believe, pitched the final out of that game. Can you talk about that moment and everybody storming you on the mound and getting the movements there?
So in the beginning of the season, I was actually struggling with my command, and pitching coach Troy O'Neill kept saying, just have the confidence every time you go out there. Eventually, it's going to click for you. So going into that game, going into the tournament, we had a feeling that we were going to win, but we came in as the 4 seed, so we weren't sure. But yeah, I got to that championship game, and they sent me down to the bullpen, and I believe it was the 2nd inning, and Coach Troy said that I had the 3rd inning and just take it 1 inning at a time. He probably only planned for me to go 1 or 2 innings, but I felt good, and I ended up going the final 7. That was an unbelievable experience for me. It's the first time we won a conference championship in 16 years. So first one actually in CAA for us. So to be able to do that, that's something I'll never forget for sure. But yeah, just when you succeed at something and then your whole team's jumping on you like that, and you're just excited for everybody because everybody works so hard to get to that point. That's something I'll never forget for sure.
And Kyle, you mentioned you remember winning the football state championship with Sally's, and you were a 2-sport athlete there. How important was it that you didn't just play baseball, that you kind of diversified yourself and played other sports as well in high school? How'd that best prepare you for college?
Right, so going through the recruiting process from high school to college, you talk to different teams, and some of them prefer you play 1 sport, but most of them actually prefer that you play 2. Especially in baseball, being a pitcher, a lot of people say that pitchers aren't the most athletic people, but it seems like nowadays a lot of schools are recruiting kids that are athletic. So Coach Sherm at Delaware loved the fact that I played football. It kind of gives me the mentality that I have a bulldog mentality on the mound. But the only reason I really got that is through football. So I believe that playing football is a huge part in the success that I've had in baseball. Just for mentality-wise, more than even physical. Just mentally being tough on the mound. You get that from playing other sports. So yeah, I believe playing multiple sports, as many sports as you can in high school, can help you with that main sport that you look forward to playing to in the future.
I agree with that. Listen to that one, kids. Multiple sports is the way to go. Now, I know you keep tabs on your alma mater, it's Salesian. Your brother Alex is actually there right now. Did you give him any pointers as he went into high school with, maybe certain coaches or a certain mindset that he had to have?
Yeah, for sure. You always try to give him little points that can help him in certain situations. But Alex is a great athlete, so I kind of want him to have his own writing when he went to Sally's. I didn't want him to ever look in my footsteps and try to live up to something that I did, because he's great too. So, you give him little pointers on stuff that they could do and stuff that could possibly help, but you don't want him to kind of get lost in the shadow of what I did. So I want him to kind of do his own thing and know that he'll be successful. So, some pointers on the side and stuff that could possibly help when I watch him play mechanically or anything like that, but more just letting him do his own thing and him writing his own story at Sally's.
And now I got kind of another hypothetical for you. Something has to do with Nick Holiday once again.
This guy.
So he told us that you and your family are all big LA Dodgers fans, and this question is, like I said, out of the blue, hypothetical. But is that a team that maybe you would want to play for in the future? Is the Dodgers like your team that you've always wanted to play for? Is it the Dodgers?
Yeah, I grew up being a Dodgers fan. Didn't really have much of a choice from my dad. So I kind of always was a Dodgers fan, simply for the fact that he was a Dodgers fan. Yeah. Honestly, it'd be an honor to play for any team at that level. Anything that happens. There's not a team that I look at and say I'd rather play for this team or that team. But hypothetically, yeah, I'm sure my dad would be cool with wearing a Dodgers jersey. Yeah. You have the dreams of playing the MLB, and just for him, I'm sure he'd be more excited than anybody for that to happen. But it'd be an honor to play for the Dodgers, but I'm cool with playing for it as well.
So now, this is something we ask all of our Delaware athletes that we bring on here that have made it to that next level. If you could give any advice to the current Delaware high school or youth athletes out there, obviously you've made it to college, you've been successful, you have the opportunity to maybe go play professional baseball somewhere. They look up to you. And what would be your most important piece of advice for these young kids coming up through the programs, as far as having that potential to reach your level that you're at?
I would say just don't ever give up. Don't ever let anybody tell that you can't do anything. For me personally, being a pitcher, I always wanted to be a starting pitcher, but I'm not the tallest person. So you get people that tell you you're too short to do something, or you're not good enough to do this or that. But if you put your mind to anything, I feel like you can succeed no matter what. And even being from Delaware, it's a small state that's not really known for having the best sports. And once you go to college, you hear that from your buddies that are from Jersey and Pennsylvania. Oh, Delaware sports aren't as good as New Jersey sports or Pennsylvania sports. But all in all, everybody gets the same opportunity. And if you put your mind to something and work hard, and don't let anybody tell you can't do what you think you can do. Just set goals high for yourself, and at the end of the day, if you really want something, you can go get it.
And just to keep going here, and we all know you had obviously a great senior season, a great year. One of the headlines from earlier in the year was Hinton flirts with history as Hens win 2-1 Thriller. Just, that's pretty much been like a headline, or to describe the entire season for you, honestly. Can you just a little talk about this year and just everything that's gone through, and kind of like what you've learned, what you've been able to do?
Yeah, so this year was actually the first year I became a starting pitcher. So I was a reliever my first 2 years at Delaware. So I went down to summer ball. They kind of worked me in to be a starter, kind of thinking that I'd be a starter this year. So learning how to be in that starting role instead of coming out of the pen. That was the biggest thing for me, is because I didn't really pitch till my junior year of high school. So really taking the time to learn how to become a pitcher and not just a thrower. So going into this season, we had our standards set higher, defending conference champions or whatever. You just have a mindset that you want to be the best that you can be, and the guys on the team believed in me, and you're never going to be as good if you don't have the guys behind you that are willing to put it all on the line for you. So for that headline, going to that game, I was actually playing against Monmouth, and there's a couple kids from Monmouth that are from Delaware, and we have a couple kids from Delaware that are right from where Monmouth is in Jersey. So it was definitely fun to have the competition with guys that we know and guys that they know on our team. So just going into the season, just working hard, and then you see that game on the schedule, and you set goals for that game, I guess, because it's bragging rights. And they actually ended up beating us in the first game, and I was still in the second game. So I was trying to do what I could to give us a chance to get that bragging rights at the end of the day, because that's kind of what it comes down to in games like that.
Yeah, and you got a decision coming up. Obviously, you got the dream of maybe getting drafted. You also could be a big-time leadership role as a senior at University of Delaware. Who have you maybe leaned on the most with this process coming up? And who's been a good mentor for you to go through?
So obviously my parents and my family, you lean on them more than anybody. You also lean on your teammates that you play with in college, and they've had my back since I've been to school there, and I feel like I've built my closest friendships with them. So you can talk to them even about it. But my parents have always done what's best for me, no matter what. So we've been talking about it. And until the draft day happens, you're not really sure what's going to happen. But I would definitely say my parents have led me along the way, and my family in general, and my teammates that I play with, what they think and stuff like that. So until it happens, you don't really know. But my parents definitely for sure have helped me along the way.
Absolutely, man. Notice you got 24 on your chain. Any significance to why you chose that number?
Yeah, so my favorite number growing up was 1, and then when I went to college, I kind of realized that the pitcher doesn't wear number 1.
Right.
So 21 was my next option, but another kid from Delaware, Zach Flowers, wore 21 my freshman year. So 24 was kind of the next option. My younger brother Alex always gets on me about he wore it first. So 24. I mean, it was my next option. But I got it on my chain. It kind of represents me personally. But also I guess Alex, because he wore it before I did. So I never give him the credit for it, but he can have it, I guess, now.
There you go, the family number, man. Well, appreciate you coming on, man. Really do. Best of luck, whether it's senior year or whatever happens in the MLB draft, and we'll be here following you along the way. Real fast before we go, we know Sally's St. Mark's is the rivalry.
Yeah.
There's more St. Mark's guys on that roster than Sally's.
Yeah.
You guys still talk it up? There's a lot of chatter in the clubhouse.
Oh, we talk it up in every sport. It doesn't matter if it's football, basketball, baseball. We always get on each other at practice all the time about the games. There's definitely more St. Mark's guys there now, so I definitely get picked on. But luckily, we had a freshman catcher, Zach Miller, came over from Sally. He's kind of helped me out a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't get much help when it comes to those conversations. But if Sally's keeps on winning, then I think we'll be all right. So they're good guys, and I enjoy playing with them. But it's always fun, definitely going to practice and getting into it a little bit about high school.
All right, Kyle Hinton right here on 302 Sports Weekly. Thanks again, man. We'll be right back after the break here on 302 Sports Weekly.
customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique image, you envision, we create.
And welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. Again, a special thank you to Kyle Hinton for joining us on the show, and best of luck to him with whatever he decides to do in the future. And then coming back, we've got some news from Mike over there. We got some lacrosse updates for you. Mike, what do you have?
So we have one finalist to set. Salesianum did manage to hold off Cape Henlopen 11-6.
How about that?
Thanks to Nick Hall for the update.
How about that, man?
And a soccer update, just real quick. Cesar Rodney and Wilmington Charter headed to the second overtime period. So if this doesn't decide it, we go to penalty kicks.
Wow.
Everyone's favorite thing, penalty kicks to decide a tournament game, huh?
Don't get me started on that again.
I know, man. Well, we could spend a whole episode doing that, but enough of that. Breaking news got everybody all off track. We're back on it right here. Baseball state tournament started up last week, of course. After our show broadcasted is kind of when it started, so we're going to review all the scores. First round, let's dive right in. Number 17, Dover took care of Indian River 7-4 in that one. Polytech with maybe the upset of the first round. Number 24, Polytech defeating number 9, Friends 3-1 in 8 innings. Number 20, Newark Charter took care of number 13, Archmere 12-9. Conrad 7, number 12, Delmar 5 in another upset, Nick.
And more scores, Pat. Number 15, DMA 4, 18, Delmarva Christian 0, 23, Sussex Tech with 6, number 10, Red Lion 5. So that's an upset there as 23, Sussex Tech takes down Red Lion in 12 as they went to extras. And then 19, Sussex Central beats 14, Concord, another upset 8-4. And then 11, Middletown beats number 22 ranked Cesar Rodney 10-3.
Now, anything from that first round really jump out to you guys, Jay?
Yeah, six upsets in the first round.
It's
I mean,
incredible.
that's an incredible number. That 6 road teams went on to win the first round. Me and Mike said last week we saw at least 3 or 4, but 6, that was crazy.
Now, the upsets would continue in the second round here, Mike. Number 17, Dover, defeating the number 1 team in the tournament, William Penn, 7-2 in that one. Number 8, Salesianum defeating Poly after their upset 8-3. Henlopen then defeating Newark Charter in a dominating fashion 12-2 in that one. Appoquinimink 5, number 21 Conrad 3 in that one, and then Nick, you got the remainders of them.
Yeah, and then the favorites kind of rounding it out here in these bottom 4 games. Number 2 Caravel beats number 15 DMA 4-0. Number 7 St. George's beats number 23 Sussex Tech 3-1. Number 3 St. Mark's beats Sussex Central 9-1, and then 6 Hodson over 11 Middletown 11-1. So the favorites kind of round out the bottom 4, all getting victories of their own. And then quarterfinals. Today we had some quarterfinal matchups, just like we've had other playoff games all day today. And Mike, we got any updates for baseball?
Yeah, we're just going to go. The first game today was Hodgson St. Mark's. St. Mark's 4, Hodgson 1, and that was the only game that finished in 7 innings. Dover, the game we were at before we came down here, 4-3 over Salesianum in 9 innings. So this number 17 Dover into the semifinals.
How about that?
They will play Cape Henlopen. Cape needed 8 innings to get by Appo, 6-5. And currently in the bottom of the 9th, it's St. George's and Caravel tied 5-5 over at Caravel. So they were going to play at least 9 innings at Caravel. So 3 out of 4 of the semifinals going to extras. Semifinals are on Friday night, and should be a lot of fun, though. We should have it on the NFHS network, powered by 302 Sports.
So the darling of this thing is Dover, right?
Yeah.
They get the big upset against William Penn. Something in the 302 Sports group text we talked about. Maybe decisions that sometimes it happens every now and then. You want to save pitchers for certain games, and it ends up biting you in the back. Mike, can you talk a little bit about Dover and that decision maybe William Penn made, and then turning around and defeating Salesianum today?
So that game was tied at 2, I believe, heading into the 7th inning. Ryan Inslee, the pitcher for William Penn, I think threw to 1 batter in the 7th, maybe. You need a certain amount of rest after you throw a certain number of pitches, so they brought in Wilkerson, very, very good pitcher. Dover they had a number. they lit them up. They scored 5 runs in the 7th inning, and William Penn just couldn't come back. Dover has Don Velasquez as a pitcher who was dominating against Penn. Did not pitch today early.
Yeah.
Sally's went up 3-0. Couldn't get anything started today at all. After that, a lot of walks on both sides. Dover chipped away, tied the game. Sal's loaded the bases against Dover in the 8th inning, I believe. The 8th. Yeah. They brought in Velasquez, struck out the side with the bases loaded, and then he struck out the side again in the 9th inning. And Dover steals home in the 9th inning with a winning run. So sometimes it's just your day. Yeah. It's been their day twice for the Senators. Congratulations, and they'll be playing their Henlopen North Confreres, Cape Henlopen on Friday, so that should be a good one.
It's going to be a real good game. The Henlopen North.
Velasquez threw 2 innings today. Oh, I don't know how many pitches he threw, but you can throw a certain amount of pitches, 205, I believe, in a week, in a 7-day period, any rolling 7-day period. So final on Sunday night. So the coach of Dover's got some decisions to make on how he wants to use Velasquez. But it's certainly interesting how that pitching strategy comes up. And I know we got some, we talked about it earlier.
Some matchups,
yeah. All right, now Jason, Pat mentioned this earlier. 6 out of the 8 first-round games were upsets. But in the second round, 7 of the 8 top seeds were able to win at home. What was a little bit different in the second round, and why weren't there more upsets?
The second round team has the advantage because they had to bye in the first round, so their pitchers are rested. And it's the pedigree. I mean, you looked at those second round teams that won: Sally's, Caravel, St. Mark's, Hudson, Appaquin, Cape Henlopen, all teams that are used to playing on that stage, and they had the advantage of sitting and not having to play the first round, and they were on their home field where all those teams had success during the year. And then, like we said, William Penn, it was tied 2-2 in the 7th before the wheels came off, and Dover scored 5 runs there in the top of the 7th to steal that win.
So looking at the semifinals, we got St. Mark's in Dover and Cape Henlopen.
Cape and Dover.
Cape, that's what, waiting for the ending of the Caravel game. Of those semifinal matchups, I know you guys kind of hinted at your answer. Which game really jumps out at you that you think is going to be a must-see?
Well, Caravel hasn't won yet, but my answer before any of the games was St. Mark's Caravel. Mm-hmm. They played in the regular season, a 10-7 Caravel win. And in that game, St. Mark's best pitcher and Caravel's best pitcher both started in that game, and both got roughed up. So both teams can hit the ball. It doesn't matter who's pitching against them. So I think that game could be real fun. But first, Caravel's got to get by St. George's here in the 9th inning.
That's it. And now, Mike, talking about Henlopen, we talked about it before the postseason started. Pitching. This team's also hitting the ball a little bit too.
Yeah.
Are they set up to win this thing with their pitching?
Who's that, Cape? Yeah. Well, they have the 3 strong guys that Austin
Elliott.
What's that?
Austin Elliott.
They have the 3 pitchers. I'm just going to go by the 3 pitchers.
Yeah.
And then when you're playing 4 games in an 8-day period or a 9-day period, it's good to have 4 pitchers. So I would, and Cape beat them during the regular season. I'd give Cape a slight edge. But hey, look at Dover. They've got some guys who can throw. They brought in Hiram Davis today in the 1st inning, and the kid threw 7 innings of shutout baseball against Salesianum. So you don't have to be you don't have to throw 100 miles an hour to win. So give Dover some credit. They've seen Cape. They're in the same conference. I expect a real close game in that semifinal on Friday. And if it comes down to a Velasquez, I think he could start. And I think I don't know how many pitches he threw today, but he's got some pitches left in him. So that should be might be better than people think. But that's St. Mark's. If it's Caravel, that's got some real appeal to it.
So there you have it. Baseball coming down to the wire, almost to our final 4 teams. Real quick before we end this one, Player of the Week, Nick. Who we got with our Players of the Week?
So for girls, we have co-players of the week as Smyrna Softball and Cape Girls. Both were state champs, so congratulations to them. Our first state titles here in spring season. And then for boys, Zach Galoff named Gatorade Baseball Player of the Year for Delaware, so you got to give it to him. Congratulations to Zach, and he's growing a great year.
Yeah, continued success for him and Cape Henley, and he's impressive, man. Live streams, we're going to have, just keep an eye out on social media, keep an eye out on the website to see exactly which games they're doing. I know a lot has to determine on what days these games are being played, especially the championships in lacrosse and soccer, so keep an eye on 302 Sports and social media to see where we will be next. Of course, every game will be streamed on the NFHS network. So make sure you do that. It will not be on the 302 Sports page, but on the NFHS network. That's a crucial thing to remember. Any last words from any of you guys? Jay?
It's my favorite time of the year. I mean, this is the week that all these titles get decided, and it's going to be a fun weekend with the baseball semis and finals on Sunday, and the girls' soccer final and the lacrosse final. It's going to be an interesting weekend. I can't wait.
Mike, any storyline you're paying attention to?
The paddle soccer has really got my interest. I want to see how they respond after last year. And along Jason's lines, this is a great time of year. The only shame of it is that so many events, because there's only so many days in a week, you can't get to everything. I wish you could just clone myself and be in 4 different places, watching everything going on, and be right here at Hooters on the 302 Sports Weekly on top of it. But it's so much fun. Just got to tell my family I will be home next week.
Nick, any last thing?
I just want to apologize to the audience for Pat shaving his mustache. No
we
more
finally
mustache.
noticed. 3 weeks.
It's gone. Nobody looked until the end of the show for someone to mention it, but I had to mention it. Sorry, viewers.
It's been 3 weeks. They finally noticed. That tells you all you need to know about these guys. Anyway, thanks once again, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to 302 Sports Weekly. Only 2 shows remaining now. Tune in next week to get all the results of the spring championships right here on 302 Sports Weekly. See you then.